Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, big shit. Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, big shit.
Check it. It's Unique Hustle. It's your boy ECEO, man. And I'm chilling out today, man. Boss Talk 101. I'm here with my guy, Pimpin. What's going on, baby?
Hey, man, everything.
And I got my girl. This is her first time on the show. As y'all already know, Ken been with me ever since I started, pretty much. Miss Coco is in the building. Mm-hmm. Man, what a lovely surprise.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So what's going on with you?
Oh, man, I'm in these streets, in these Texas streets.
Already. So you originally from Atlanta?
I'm from Atlanta. I was born in Virginia. I was raised in Atlanta. Yeah, I was born in Virginia, raised in Atlanta.
How old was you when you first came to Atlanta?
Shit, I've been back and forth since I was like 4.
4?
Yeah.
So
really? My family there, you know, I was there when I was 9, I was there was 12, middle school, high school, jumped off the porch there. So, yeah. That's
hard, man. So, and you know I'm nosy. Mm-hmm. How the hell how did she get to know about HHF?
Well, she's one of A1 Day One. She's been around about 5 years.
Okay.
And she traveled a lot. So she was flying in yesterday for the Finesse 2-time show. And when she flew in, you know, I said, you know, I'm going to get you in the studio with Mike Fresh. So her and Mike Fresh are supposed to be going to the studio, and Finesse 2-time supposed to be there also. We all just going to be there just chilling, you know, and working and shit. Him and I got some things that we're trying to do on the music side.
So basically, what happens is a lot of times, I know one of the guys that used to be with y'all, he had passed away.
Yeah.
And, you know, this thing, when you first started it off, you got to understand, I say 6 people I done interviewed over the times have passed away, from Beat King to Water 2 Live. This guy named Ken Flores, which was the last guy. He was 28 years old, Hispanic comedian, right. Flew in from L.A. by way of Chicago.
Right.
And his people called, asked could he be on the show. Mm-hmm. He ended up having a heart attack afterwards. And it's like, man, the opportunity you get to deal with these people when you know already, you don't know. Right. So you have to input into people while you have the opportunity to make sure you say the right thing when you're on these platforms and when you're in these people's lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's been a great thing. This thing started 4 years ago. And
6 years ago.
No, Boss Talk. 4 years ago. You was off the porch before me. You know what I'm saying? But Boss Talk started 4 years ago. I lost those people. And you can't imagine the empty space it leaves when, you know, one guy was on here and the guy that was standing behind him killed him weeks later, you know, after they left the show.
That's cold.
Shot him in the neck. Water 2 Live. That would be missed. I just tried. He was 21 and then Strap was 22. These guys, kids, man. And but each one of them I got to talk to them about God. Now, each one of them that passed away on my platform, where I had a chance to witness with them and enjoy God in them. Yes. So I thought that was dope. I always use the platform for the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, like being in Atlanta, the thing you hear about most is the strip clubs, the fast life. You know what I mean? Miami's kind of the same way. You know what I'm saying? Kinda. You hear about South Beach a lot down there in Miami, South Beach, you know, but like, how has it been coming up as a young lady being, you know, basically in Atlanta?
Ooh. Well, first of all, everybody gonna look at you the same way. You know, when they look at our city and you're not from my city, they gonna be like, oh, she in a club. Just off the look, you know what I mean? Or they just look at it like it's a club city. Okay. You know what I'm saying? This is a place where you go, you're going to see some women, you're going to see them, they're going to be naked, they're going to know how to get their money up, you know what I'm saying? You're going to see these niggas, they're going to be, you know what I'm saying, jeweled out, trying to show off, you know, putting on for the city, all types of stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's the home of the, you know, nowadays, the music. So, that's what you think of when you think of Atlanta. So as a woman, first thing you thinking is like, you do music, oh, you dance. You could be I could be a scholar working for a HBCU. You know what I'm saying?
But they still gonna think you dance.
Absolutely. Off your body, you just walk around, you cute. Oh yeah, you in them clubs. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first impression that I normally get all the time. But, you know, what I noticed is that it's culture. It's the Black Mecca for real.
Wow.
So everywhere you go, you're going to see us. It don't matter in every culture. Like, the doctors is us. The lawyers is us. You know what I'm saying? The restaurants is us. The clubs is us. Like, the owners. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is popping. You see us everywhere. So that's what brings us back every time.
Wow.
We come together.
It's something different about Atlanta because when I go down there, you know, you might run into anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people there of notoriety when it comes down to entertainment, political, you know, people, upper echelon. Like, so, I mean, but you guys see it all the time, so it's something that becomes of a norm to you because you see these people bump into them. You see Ken, you see Pimpin Ken, you see different people. They used to seeing that, like, and does that open up opportunity at all for you guys?
It does if you know how to use it.
Okay.
So people that's from our city, they see it all the time, so they don't even know how to. It's normalcy. It's people that come to our city that ain't never had that opportunity. They know what to do with it if they had that one chance to meet somebody like Pimp Ken. You know, one chance to meet Ken, one chance to be a part of hip hop fraternity, one chance to be around, you know, some of your favorite legends that you might see in the restaurant every day. You know, most of the people that's in Atlanta, they see them every day. You know, they done seen a little bit of everybody at one point every day, you know. So, you know, to come to our city knowing that you don't really have that access. I mean, if you've never been in Atlanta, you don't know what it's like to have that access to be around legendary people just walking up on them. You know what I'm saying? You kind of get so desensitized. But people that come from other places, they come in and they remind you that Atlanta is where it's at, because you're going to run into people that you wish you ran into. You wish you had an opportunity to brush shoulders with and shake hands with, you know. So it's a blessing for real in disguise that people don't even take advantage of.
Wow. And so what stuck out to you about Coco when you first met her?
Well, we was in, we had, HHF was kind of like, had HHF Tuesdays at KOD. So she was there and she was like, hey man, you know, I'm into the music and, you know, I would like to work with y'all and so on and so forth. And so I got a thing, like when people first come to me, they're talking about they want to be down with me. I say, you know, well, you got to come and show me, you know, that you're down and attend a few meetings. So she attended a few meetings, and then I really kind of was talking to her one day, and I had an opportunity to listen to some of her music, and I knew that she could sing and rap, and I was like, you know, you need to come on and get with the program. But, you know, as always, there was so many women at HHF at that time, you know. I don't know if it's insecurity or if it's just, you know, people.
One second, keep talking.
I don't know if it's insecurity or people just want to be number one, but, you know, she ended up going back to Virginia and doing her thing. But then, you know, now I said, look, whenever I'm doing interviews or anything like that, if you're around, she just happened to be in town, I said, I want to showcase your talent.
Wow. So is it rap or is it R&B? What are we doing?
We doing it all.
Wow.
We doing it all. Ain't no limits, ain't no box, don't put me in nothing. I sing, I rap, and for a long time, I always wanted to choose. Should I be a singer because I'm really good at it? Or should I rap and give you that raw lyrics because I can really do it? You know? And it was like, I was battling. People were like, stay in your lane. Nah, I ain't no lane. I'm switching lanes.
Wow. What's one of the songs that you sing when you want to feel joy around the house?
Around the house, Mary J. Blige, everything.
Let me hear it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But you know, my favorite, ain't gonna lie, is that 90s stuff. Anything 90s.
Okay, so
one of my favorite is like.
So Mary J. Blige ain't the one you giving me?
Absolutely. See, Mary J. Blige is gonna take me somewhere. I ain't trying to go there today.
Okay, talk to me.
You don't know the pain that I feel. You're taking my love for granted, and you just wanna see your way.
All right.
Hey.
Man, you know what I'm talking about, man? Just the one thing about us, man, soulful people, man. I love my people, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just we definitely full of talent, but it's just when we sing, it come from somewhere. Even if some can't sing, you've been through some stuff, man, and it comes out in a song. You know what I mean? Or just to hear your mama sing. Back in the day, mama would sing. You know what I mean? And mama would just sing when she was cleaning up or just hanging. You know what I'm saying? Mama, we had the stereo. You know, with the thing you lift up, it's set like a TV. It looked like a box. You remember them?
Yeah.
It had the record player on one side. You don't know about it. It had an 8-track in that thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was the combo package. Then it might have the TV on there too.
Okay.
You too young to know about that.
Don't do that.
You know what I'm saying? You know, again, I'm giving her the game, man.
The 8-track. I was with you with the 8-track.
You know about the 8-track?
I do.
Man. So Ken, man, you know, I gotta ask you your expertise, man, on a few things. You know, you my guy, so I look for you, you know, to give me the goods on things. Diddy went in there yesterday, got him 4 years and 2 months, man. Was that a hefty sentence, or was that what you thought that he was going to get, or did you feel like this was the judge throwing the book at him? What did you think about it?
You know, we talked about this before.
Man, you've talked about this several times.
You know, one of the things I try to warn African American men about is the the 3 Ds: demonize, discredit, and destroy. You know, that has been the playbook since J. Edgar Hoover, since COINTELPRO. You know, the European so-called white man has always had, you know, a system of white supremacy and systemic racism. Whenever the black man do well, it's counterproductive to white supremacy, because white supremacy means that someone else is superior over someone else, right? So when you start making billions of dollars, you start, you know, really exhibiting what they would call black excellence. You know, it irks problems. That's why you see Donald Trump talking about some DEI this and Charlie Kirk DEI, and you know, if you don't have a certain IQ, or you know, if you want to be in the military, you got to have merits. All that stuff is really cold words for racism. You know what I'm saying? Wow. To say they really believe that the black man is inferior, but they never tell you that, you know, we the only non-immigrants. You know, we the only ones that they can't, you know, run up on and say, y'all immigrants, because they brought us here. You see what I'm saying? And that's the travesty, and that's the problem. And they really don't know what to do with us. And because we are so ingenious and we create so many marvelous things in this country, and we always go with the chitlin circuit. You know, when we was in slavery, they tried to give us chitlins. That was the pig guts. They gave us the pig feet. We made a delicacy. Now white folks love chitlins. White folks love pig feet. You know, that's just how it is, man. It's like, you know, at the hip hop fraternity, we building everything. We got our own magazine. We got our own radio. We got our own award show. We got our own everything. Our own clothing. Our own social media. We're building a distribution center, you know, where we can distribute music through AI, blockchain, apps, and cryptology, and tokenizing the entire ecosystem, you know, of our infrastructure. So we're moving in that capacity. So they're going to be mad at us. You know, it's going to probably be, you know, handcuffs put on some of us. You know?
Well, that's and when you look at Diddy, I felt like
I was just giving you the whole picture.
Yeah, I felt
just Diddy,
I get it. But I was reason I was bringing it up is because I thought, to me, it was a harsh sentence for what they really was able to put on him.
Well,
they had came at him with racketeering, but then they tried to implement the same thing the judge did in the mix of it, which was crazy.
We both been in prison. It shouldn't have never been a case.
It shouldn't have.
I always said that they hit him with human trafficking. It's trick trafficking. He's a trick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, P. Diddy was a trick. You know what I'm saying? He was having fun like most tricks.
That's
he
right.
Was hired sex workers, you know, he was freaking and so on and so forth. So he's a trick. It should be trick trafficking.
You're right.
They don't want
exactly
but
right.
you know why they won't give them trick trafficking? Because they all will get indicted.
Like your boss.
Because they all tricks.
Wow. You're right. Now, to me, I was like, the reason they pushing these human trafficking charges so hard is because they want to filter them down throughout our people. To me, I feel like it's something they're gonna start playing games with in these courtrooms over and over again on a higher level. My partner right now he's facing life right now for human trafficking.
But
right now,
I feel like this my only thing about human trafficking. This should go against her will. I'm talking about she tied up, didn't know where she was going. She in the back of the plane. In the back of the plane, tied up somewhere. No, if she didn't know she was going, she ain't had no idea. She ain't want. You did this before against my will. Then come on now. Them women wanted to have some fun, regardless of how much fun they knew they was gonna get themselves into. Whatever. But is that everybody's business to know how much fun you willing to have when you a billionaire? I'm not saying that none of these women didn't have no situations, and I'm not going against no women. I don't condone none of that. But if we're talking about sex trafficking, most of the women that got on them jets, they wanted to fly out. They didn't say, I don't want to be here.
True. That's right. That's exactly right.
So we got to start with that.
We got to start with that. And I love that coming from a woman's perspective.
And I'm all pro-woman.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Because it's just unfortunate that they're using this system once again to play games to manipulate.
With Bill Cosby, though.
Yeah, I say that.
Same thing.
Same
what
thing.
They did with OJ. OJ got 11 years for trying to get his own property back.
Yeah.
And the problem is, the Supreme Court is complicit. What they did, they gave Donald Trump total immunity. You could tell, even his businesses are conducted, in a way that you couldn't conduct it prior presidencies. You know what I'm saying? Other presidents couldn't do that. If Obama would have did half the things that Trump do, he would be up under the prison. So that's what we have to start with. I keep telling people the key word to everything is white supremacy.
Yeah.
You got to understand white supremacy is a religion. They believe that they are superior to us, and China is doing so well with their Belt Initiative. China, putting solar panels in Africa. They electrified Africa. They gave, what's his name, Akon, over $1 billion worth of solar panels. Mm-hmm. Those panels allow them to have light, so that means they can have electricity, which means they have cell phones, where that creates commerce, that creates businesses, right? Brother Ibrahim Traoré, over there in Burkina Faso, he's coming up with different mechanisms and strategy. What are they doing? They demonizing him. Mm-hmm. They trying to destroy him. They trying to discredit him where? In social media. And they said that even YouTube's is complicit with Nathan, whatever his name is, Yahoo over there in Israel. Mm-hmm. They gave him.
They're trying to control something.
Yeah, $45 million to create the narrative. They hiring influencers to create the narrative, because whoever controlled the narrative, whoever controlled the media, this is black media, black talk, boss talk. Whoever controlled the media controls the situation, because people are impressionable. 99% of the things that we hear or we see, it's illusions. They're all illusions. It's all game, but we fall for it all the time. And the only way we're going to ever be able to ameliorate ourselves out of our conditions is we got to have our own media, our own social media, we got to have our own radio, we got to have our own magazine, everything we got to own. Until we do our own Silicon Valley, our own Black Wall Street, until we do that, then we subject to you. I heard you talk about the nation earlier.
Yeah.
And you talking about one of their pillars is separation.
Yeah.
Now, my thing with that is that where are we going to separate to?
That's right.
And not only that, what I'm saying, when we separate, we're still going to use the European system. So in order for us to really succeed, Elijah Muhammad is right. We do have to separate. We have to have total separation. We have to have a whole country of our own, because the curriculum, George Washington was a slave owner.
That's right.
Jackson was a slave owner. But you go to the store every day, you spend these dollars with these slave owners on it. They tell you about Maynard Keynes. They tell you about Karl Marx. They tell you about Plato and Michelangelo. But they never tell you about Mansa Musa. They never tell you about Imhotep. They never tell you about Patrice Lumumba. They never tell you about Kwame Nkrumah. Because it's a Eurocentric and it's a European anglicized, Europeanized curriculum. So how you gonna be in a curriculum that always praises your oppressor? You know, somebody that did this, that, and the other to you. That's a travesty, my brother. So we have to change the curriculum. We have to change our attitudes. We have to even change the way we dress. We have to come up with a whole different culture. Because everything we do is white supremacy is embedded in it.
No, I agree, man. It's a tough uphill battle.
Yeah.
Trying to understand what to do in the situation that we in. I don't think people talk about that enough.
Join hip hop fraternity.
Of course, that's definitely but I'm just talking about far as an overall thing. They look for. We could point out every problem to what's happening with blacks in America. Everybody has a problem. Hey, man, I'm dealing with this. They buy us. They locking us up. They doing this. But what is the solution? Is what I always say.
Hip hop fraternity. Think about it. Well, I'm gonna tell you why I say hip hop fraternity. This is why I emphatically say hip hop fraternity is the solution.
That's the solution.
Because we tried everything but unity. We got almost collectively 40,000 members. We got over 100 executives. We got 30. We just got a chapter in Brooklyn, so we got 39 chapters.
Wow.
We did this in 6 years. I got brother Ryan Graham, who is my director of cryptocurrency. He builds for the United States government. He builds computers for the crypto and blockchain. We have Miss Asha Castleberry. You see her on everything, CNN, NBC News. You see her on all of the Roland Martin and all that. You know, she's our international global ambassador. We have Miss Kentrice Dangala. She's been working for over 6,500 Fortune 500 corporations. You know, and we have Mocha, you know, we have Felicia who does accounting for us. So we have all professional brothers and sisters. We have Reality Lester who builds apps. He got 60 apps. So that happened through hip hop fraternity. Now we're creating our own ecosystem. You know, we have brothers and sisters that have more degrees than the thermometer.
Hey.
So when we look at that perspective and we look at how hip hop fraternity did it, and no one asked for any money, you know, and that's why we recently gave everybody in the company stock.
Wow.
We gave everybody in the company, so now everybody can create generational wealth. You know, Ice-T, you just seen, I was just at his house a couple weeks ago. He came in for $2 million worth of equity.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, he came in with us for a six-figure equity partnership. You know, Young Mouth came in with an equity partnership. So we're bringing brothers and sisters together. You know, Miss Coco, you know what I'm saying? She's the equity partner. You know, a lot of the brothers and sisters, you know, that's an organization, they own equity in the company. Where else can you have that scenario other than in the African American or Moorish American empire? See, I was raised by Honorable Noble Drew Ali, so I understand unity. Noble Drew Ali said our problem was it takes finance to uplift the nation. And he was saying that he had a woman. He was holding a woman in his hand, and the woman is humanity. So we got to uplift humanity. You uplift the woman. They said, Ken, you got mostly women running your organization. You got women at the CEO because I know that the woman is going to get stuff done. Mm-hmm. You know, and we got to stop depriving our sister because she have a high IQ and a high EQ and a high AQ. So EQ is emotional quotient, AQ is adaptability quotient, IQ is intelligent quotient. Having all that combined and having that under check, she has a greater prospects of winning. The only thing, the problem with brothers don't know how to lead. They think leading is being out front. No, leading is being a depository. So what that means is, you know what I'm saying, a woman is an incubator. So if you deposit in her the right information and the right wisdom, knowledge, understanding, she's gonna give you retention. She's gonna also, she's a reactor, she a reactor. If you give her food, she's gonna give you what? A meal. A meal. Yeah. If you give her a sperm, what she gonna give you? A child. If you give her a house, what she gonna give you? A home. If you give her lies, what she gonna give you? Hell. So the thing that we have to do is focus on the woman. They're gonna help bring about the unity. They're gonna build the infrastructure. They're gonna put in the water. They're gonna put in the plumbing. They're gonna put in electricity. Then it's up to us to build the stories and to build a skyscraper. But we have to do it only through unity. That's the only solution. But you know why we are disunified?
Why?
Because our enemy, our oppressor, have done a marvelous job in keeping us separated, divide and conquer. It's the oldest trick in the world, but it works. Because look at us, look at our cities. Look how many people have been. First 48, perfect example. African American on African American, Moorish American crime. Chicago, 7,000 people got murdered by who? By our own people. Yeah. And now they're blaming us. They said we're terrorists because we're killing ourselves. But they the one that put the guns in our community. They the one that put the drugs, and now they're blaming the victim, you know, for the victimization. They blaming us for being. They said you guys are the ones that's, you know, the problem. But you know, you guys don't own no boats. Y'all don't own no planes. You know, this drug is coming from China. It's coming from Venezuela. But y'all, we're going to send the ICE into the African American community, the Moorish American community, and they just raided the apartment building. So what I'm telling you, bro, is this white supremacy is real. We have to come together. See, if we was together, they have done a great job. Whenever you start killing yourself, that means that you're not together.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why they move it in like that, because they said they ain't going to do nothing. They ain't finna mobilize. They're not finna, you know, go against us. You know what I'm saying? They're going to let us do what we want to do. And if we don't know it, you know, the Constitution, the 14th Amendment says slavery is abolished except for one duly commits a crime. We'll be right back in slavery. And that's why when somebody said conservative, when you hear all them saying conservative mean what? To conserve. That means to go back to what it was. And that's what they want to do. They want to make America great again. They want to make America racist again.
Wow.
You know, and that's why Charlie Kirk, you look at him, I didn't even know this dude.
I didn't know, I had never heard of him before
he got killed.
Yeah.
And then I got to look at the stuff he was saying. He said we monkeys and our brains and stuff is not, I was like, man, that's crazy. I didn't even know that in 2025 that stuff was happening.
Got to get with you on a couple of other things too. When it comes down to Dame Dash was on Breakfast Club. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was nice.
Wait a minute, did you see it?
Yes, I watched it 3 times.
Well, okay, what did you think about the interview? Because you was on Breakfast Club.
Well, you know, I'm a gameologist. It was game 101. I mean, Dame is a mastermind. You know, because you know the way he articulated that, and the way him and Charlamagne went back and forth. You know, you know that Damon Dash is a lot more poised, and a lot more structured than, you know, how he was acting on that. It was all a perfect setup, and the numbers went crazy.
They went crazy.
It was a great marketing strategy. It was how to use media at its apex. You know, so I would never do it. You know, because you know I'm a little bit more serious about, you know, calling people out their name, but you know, I think Charlamagne, you know, they had to go there. You know, he basically saved the Breakfast Club to me. I mean, he did because Charlamagne is very he's very
provoked.
No, he's very content. You know, so all that name calling didn't really bother him. I could look at him and DJ Envy Eyes. They was going cha-ching, cha-ching. You know, they knew they was going to make at least $50,000 to $100,000 off this interview, and I'm probably sure they probably made at least $40,000 to $50,000 because it's at $4 or $5 million if you go according to RPMs and shit. You know, so you know it was a classic. You know, Damon Dash to me, when it comes to interviews and it comes to articulation, he's one of the coldest.
He cold. He knew what he was going into, man. And boy, the line he told Charlamagne, Wendy Williams, your OG. Your OG is Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
You know, and Charlamagne embraced it. He went and put it on a shirt. Wendy Williams, my OG. Yeah. So you got to know how to play the game, man.
He know how to troll. He know how to do all that.
He love it.
He gonna dive right into it.
Yeah.
Man, these dudes are mastermind, you know, and I think, like I said, it was a master class in marketing, you know, and dissemination of information. You know, and even his OG, you know, that came with him, he was like, man, calm down, Damon. He was trying to be the good cop, you know, the bad cop thing, but it was all, you know, the way he had him go there and speak and stuff like that and talk about, you know, his initiatives and stuff like that. Man, they was, you know, I know, you know, Damon Dash is the epitome of a gentleman. I know he could be a gentleman. I know he could be kind of off a little bit too, but you know, I know that was a little overboard. That's why I know it had to be a little, you know, it had to be a little plan or a little strategy on either Damon Dash part. He went in there like, man, I'm gonna call this guy a girl boy, you know.
Yeah, and he was like, I'll punch you right now. He's like, no, we're gonna be fighting, you know. So it was all like I said. I can say this for me. When he went in there 5 years ago and he told him, you know, you need to be a boss and all that, it was so constructive when he told him that. Mm-hmm. I think it pushed them. I think it pushed Charlamagne. I think it pushed DJ Envy, and I know it pushed. They all had their own platforms after that. What's the girl name? Angela Yee. All of them start building their own platforms after that and start pushing for their own brand.
As a gentleman that has his own podcast, at some juncture, where do you move the needle, right? Where do you push? Where do you push the needle, and you raise the bar? So really, you could see what they were doing. How do you interview Damon Dash? He's been interviewed 1,000 times. You know, what you gonna do to galvanize people and to stimulate people to get back into who he is?
Yeah,
and that was the perfect segue. And like I said, you know, but what I got out of it more so is him being chairman of Revolt.
Yeah,
you know that, and I think.
But did that happen? Because they said that.
Yeah,
they said no.
Yeah,
they said it wasn't true.
Yeah, I seen accounts where it was true.
Really?
Yeah, I seen it where it was true.
I like the way that the hustle is anytime the hustle going on when it come to us. So whatever the case may be, it stole a moment. And you got to understand, that ain't the only moment being stolen. You got to realize him and Cam them is really going back and forth too. Cameron is going back and forth with him. He's having his back and forth with Jim Jones, Cameron, him. All this stuff is happening. And these are real relationships that are brewing up issues. But still, at the end of the day, they still come from Harlem, all of them.
But you know, my first tirade on the internet was with 50 Cent. Remember, he called. He said, "Man, Pimpin can't say ain't no pimp." He was Pimp Curly.
Yeah. That's right.
Then I did a response where I stabbed. I had a little homie that looked like 50, and I stabbed him with a knife. I said, "Stick yourself, Pretty Tony." He's like, you know, I don't know if 50 got it cut down. It went to like 10 million overnight. It was a world star and everything. So I come from that, you know what I'm saying? We had fun with it first. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, I had a website, it was www.pimpinken.net, and this is pimpinken.net. I had that over 26 years ago. You know, so understanding this media is very important. Just like, you know, people see me on Boss Talk all the time. Sure. They see me on all the podcasts.
Different podcasts. You know Nick Cannon's show, all these different places. You've been everywhere.
But it's a ploy.
Big facts.
It's a ploy and a strategy to market oneself, right?
Yeah.
You know, if I had some good weed, bro, you know what I'm saying? I had some chronic, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it was for sale. But nobody knew I had chronic. I got regular. It's regular degular, even though it's chronic, and I'm high as a research monkey, higher than giraffe pussy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just some regular because it's Reggie, because don't nobody know that I got the chronic. That's right. Well, if you a superstar, if you a hell of a dude, if don't nobody know who you are, and you know, publicity could be good or bad. You know what I'm saying? It's still publicity. Then it accounts for anything. So Damon Dash, what he did was he just went to the other side of marketing, the other side of publicity, and he was very controversial. He was very, I would say, disrespectful, intentionally. So you know, but man, I was watching the views as I was watching it. So I come in at 800,000 views. By the time I'm watching this, at 1.8. So 1 million people came in within that hour and a half that I was sitting there watching. I said, this is phenomenal. I said, this is fit to go viral. You know, and Trump is another master of it. You know,
master of it.
Trump is a master. Trump have mastered the media and the internet so cold that his sons just made $6 billion. You know, he actually partnered with Elon Musk, Ellis, Zuckerberg, all these people to the point where he created Truth Central. So he has his own social media site. But they're making money because they're tokenizing. That means to convert all of your assets, real world assets, into tokens. You know, and the whole world is tokenized. Blackstone, Vanguard, you know, Chase Morgan, all of them is tokenized, and we're tokenizing as well. But, you know, I say all that to say that he used the media so well that everybody, because Trump marketing and his kids and Eric Trump marketing, everybody's converting over to crypto. You know, so America don't. Now, me being, go back to Damon Dash and give an example of what the game is. So real game ain't transparent, right? Right. If you can see it, it ain't game.
It ain't game.
But a game recognized game. So if you take what Damon Dash did and what Trump is doing, and you put them on a scale, you say, okay, well, Trump, what he just did, he took all of the gain that he had in media, he took all of his recognition, and he converted it over and used the United States government, the Treasury, and all department, all that to convert it over to crypto. Now, everybody else is saying, man, I don't want no crypto, or everybody try to do crypto, but guess what happens? Here's the game, because I got game, right? Here's the game. Imagine what happens in the next 5 years. Imagine what happens in the next 5 years if everything go crypto. That means the American dollar is going to be obsolete. That's so right. That debt that we have, that $50 trillion, they're going to tell China, get it how you live. And how they going to get it? You can't get it from toilet paper because that's what money finna become. All these dudes has had money in their basements and been holding money and cash. That cash is going to become obsolete. They doing it in your face.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Damon Dash is on the same level. He's just doing it on his level. You know, you're gonna see Damon Dash businesses skyrocket. You're gonna see him getting endorsement deals because that's what they do. They pimp the media. Trump pimped the media. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been pimping the media since, I mean, people like, man, you know, you on everything, you know, and you a so-called pimp. Man, I ain't got a picture, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I know how to pimp the game. Yeah. I know how to pimp the media. I know how to get on these different platforms. I was on 19 Keys. You go watch it. He said, man, how did you think you got on my platform? I said, I sent you the Breakfast Club interview. I said, I know you was going to take the bait. He jumped back. It's live on the show, but I was just telling him that, you know, I wrote the book, The Art of Human Chess. It's all game, man. That's right. You know what I'm saying? That's, that's all you see, Damon Dash and Trump. Those are two examples I can give you. You know what I'm saying? It's game on a level that nobody even know that what Trump is doing is going to destroy the American dollar. He's intentionally destroying the American dollar because the dollar is being competed by the yuan and the Chinese WeChat, all they so-called crypto, right? Their tokens and stuff. So we have to do something about it. Wow.
I think when you think about it, man, it's levels, man. And the levels are it's so many different levels. When you look at Young Thug, I always got, you know me, I'm on everything. Young Thug, basically, the tapes came out, Ken. Mm-hmm. I hadn't talked to you since, but he was in jail for a while. And all of a sudden, tapes come out. The recordings of him, what he was saying about everybody. He was talking about this. He was talking about that. He had a lot of time to spend on the phone. He even talked about things that got him, all his people was mad at him when he came home now that they started dropping the tapes. The recordings of him in the county. What did you think when you first started seeing them dropping them? Because I was suspicious, like, who the hell dropping these? Like, is Fannie Willis dropping these? Who's dropping these dang recordings from jail that he was speaking to? And then the interrogation room where he was interrogated, that also dropped. Did that throw you for a loop?
Well, it's like having sex with a woman.
I was
right?
about to say that, mad ass CEOs.
And she recording the sex and you recording the sex, and the sex tapes get out. You know what I'm saying? It's similar to a sex tape leak, you know. And I say that not to be funny, because I don't have no qualm with neither one of those brothers. But, you know, we forget. You know, we forget that we had sex with this person. You know, Vanessa Williams, prime example. She became Miss America, but she had all these sex tapes. I remember that back.
Yeah, I remember that. That's old school. Yeah,
I ain't know that.
That's old school. And she had to give up her Miss America
right.
pageant because she got caught with, you know, and she forgot totally about it. And I think that's what happens, man. A lot of dudes, you know, they say, I'm a real gangster, woo. But they forget the basic rules of the game. You know, the main thing in hustling is, you know, do not talk to the police under no circumstances. Ice-T said they will lie, but they can lie and you can't. You know, they can tell you that they're going to let you leave in 24 hours if you give them everything you want. They're going to tell you that they're your friend. And the reason why you don't talk to a detective is because they got 24-hour shifts, and you're going to get fatigued, and you're going to say things, and you're going to get disgruntled, and you're going to want to go home. And that's where they get you when you're in your vulnerability stages. And he probably don't even realize that he said that, because you got to give him credit for his gangster too, because he took his case to trial. You know, they to the point where they had to give him a deal. You know, but he was hanging in there like wet clothes in the projects. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes
on the clothesline.
Okay. Ken, I don't know. I've been in trial, and I had people. I could have said this or said I ain't do no talking. So I can't excuse. I had people around that I never been a dude that's gonna go in there and I ain't talking to nobody. And during the time, and I'm in there, I'm not talking on the phones. I'm not talking to nobody. But he was in there for a while. I didn't have to. Maybe 6 months is not a year.
So you said he was talking to the detectives, right?
He talked to the detective, but then he was talking on the phones, and he know them calls being recorded, and you saying all this about different people.
They say it's gonna be recorded.
They tell you.
They ain't never used it until they use it against Young Thug. I mean,
of course.
Who cares about your conversations?
I think
with
they
you
do.
And your host?
They will use it if they could use it. If it's a trial going on and he said something that could have took.
So you know what happened? Because he got out, because I don't know, in some way he somewhat beat everything in some way, right?
No, he's still on probation.
He took a plea.
He took a plea, but he ain't in jail.
But I think they use it. They weaponize.
They're like, we're gonna get his ass on the streets. Remember what I said? Turn against him. Watch
remember I said the 3 Ds: discredit, destroy,
bang,
and what? Demonize. So y'all got to always think about that. You know what I'm saying? And that is chess.
That's chess.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't get you here. We're gonna get you there.
So
yeah. Not this move. Next move.
No, but think about it. Young Thug. You know, cold-blooded, you know, hustler, blood, you know, Young Thug. They build you up, then they pull the rug from up under you. P. Diddy, you know, mogul, billion-dollar status, they pull the rug. Kanye, same thing.
R. Kelly.
Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, the same thing. They did the same thing. The first man they did it to, y'all talking about Puffy, nobody talking about Jack Jackson. He the first person to ever receive the Mann Act. The charge that they giving Puffy was the heavyweight champion of the world. He took a white woman across the state, they hit him with the Mann Act. That's where the Mann Act come from. But a lot of people don't understand that. That's why I said history, out of all things, history is best recorded to reward all studies. If you don't know what was, you never know what is. So when you know the strategy and the stratagems of your enemy, you know what I'm saying? You cannot become a billionaire and move the same way you move. somebody said, we was talking about that. Somebody said, what did you change? You changed your zip code, your moral code, you know what I'm saying? I mean, all your codes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that, but because you having more money, you know what I'm saying? And you still deal with the people that you deal with, but you got to tell them, say, look, man, I'm giving you $20,000 a month to not to be the dude that I know you is.
So do you still keep your loyalty code? Because I'll never get rid of that. And they be saying that I'm supposed to get rid of that because, you know.
Loyalty to what?
Yeah. Do you still be loyal to the game? You still be loyal to a nigga that beat the shit out? I'm just giving you an example. You know what I'm saying? That beat you to death in business and anything. Do you still be loyal to these people when they fuck you over because you at the end of the day ain't gonna go out like that? Or do you be loyal to yourself?
Well, let me give you some game. Let me give you some game. What you do is you get rid of the dead weight, right? You know, some people are good to you, but they're not good for you. You know, get rid of the dead weight is like having a 10-pound pack book on your back. And as soon as you get rid of that book pack, you feel like Muhammad Ali can float like a butterfly, you can sting like a bee. But as long as you got that book pack on you, you become immune to that.
You gotta know your dead weight.
So it's okay to say goodbye. The word good is in goodbye. Sometimes you have to let people go. See, God brings people into your life for a reason, and He take people out of your life for a reason. Some people's in your life for a season. Some people's in your life for a reason. You know, but I guarantee you, every time God takes somebody out of your life, He gonna make somebody better into your life. You know what I'm saying? But people, where there's the least appearance of evil, you got to expect the greatest amount of danger. Loyalty is a commodity that you can't afford. Why? Because disloyalty comes with loyalty. For everything, for every wall, there's a floor. For every head, there's a tail. For every left, there's a right. So you got to look at both sides of the game. You know, you got loyalty, you got disloyalty too. So do you be loyal to disloyalty? No. Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest men that ever, you know, wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, and he called one called Wrestling with the Devil. And he talked about, you know, disloyalty. He said, out of all the things that I can forgive a man for, there's one thing that I can't forgive a man for, and that's disloyalty. See, people are loyal to what? They're loyal to your success. Boss Talk got people that's gonna come up here, they're gonna shine his shoes, they're gonna start at his feet, you know what I'm saying? But eventually they're gonna end up at his throat.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
Yeah, because they're only loyal, you know, people loyal to success. So when you got 100,
shine your shoes and end up at your throat.
But listen though, when you got $100 million, Coco, I guarantee you, everybody gonna be loyal to $100 million. The minute you hit rock bottom, everybody that you thought was down with you
ghost
is gonna become a Houdini trick. They're gonna disappear like a magic trick, and that's why loyalty is a commodity that I can't afford.
That's right. That's
so
right.
You can change that code too, Your Honor. To the people out there, yes.
Yeah.
You have to learn what to be loyal to.
Be
loyal to yourself.
Be loyal to yourself.
Okay.
Man,
loyal to your game. Loyal to what's right.
When you look at what's going on in the market today, I know you remember when there was a prosperity gospel and everybody was talking about you gotta pay to prosper. You gotta pay. If you can give it up, you can have it all, pressed down, shaking together, rolling over. Something you can't think or ask. This guy David E. Taylor from this going through this right now. He basically they locked him up because he had so much money and so many people, and they were saying he was. You seen this manipulating this? It's a guy with his hair is kind of wild. He's all over the news. There he is right there, him and the white woman that was helping him do it. And they made millions. They had all kind of stuff going on. And now they've taken him in and they seized all his assets and everything because of the way he was manipulating the people, they say. They say it was so bad, one sister got on and said that her son went to him and then he was brainwashed and he was 28 and he never came back out of it, and he was crazy for him, and he told her one day, I disown you because you talked about Mr. Taylor. So what do you think about, is it right for them to get involved in somebody's situation? And they also use that human trafficking thing on him too. Same thing. They flipping it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, like it's not just gonna stop at one. It starts to triculate through everything because they know they can use it now and they can take you out. They can get that money.
But they use it primarily against African Americans.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So how I look at
That's
it,
exactly
it's like,
right.
There's so many crimes that excuse my language, but the white man has been committing forever. Sex trafficking, raping and drugging and all this other stuff, but they had to use a black guy downfall person like the head, like for example Bill Cosby or R. Kelly. These white men, you think R. Kelly was the first one to do it? You think these white men weren't doing that already? Of course they had to find someone in our community that's gonna take the fall for it, that we love, okay, so that we could hate that, okay? But every single thing that they're going down for, and it's trickling. These are all things that's been done in the European community all the time. They just need a fall goat so that we could be like, we don't like you because we don't believe in that. So we're gonna be like, F you, you know what I'm saying? And reality is, these white people be doing this all the time. They just trying to make us hate each other. So they're gonna find somebody that's doing what they've been doing, which is normal.
Well, you know, if you go back with the David Ely.
Taylor, yeah,
so if you go
millions
back,
of dollars.
Well, David Koresh did the same thing. Jim Jones did the same thing. But my point is, in religion, right? In the Islamic religion, you know, Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon him. He say, don't put no pictures of me up. You know, because people are idolatrous. You know, when he first started Islam in Mecca, he had all of the shrines and the idols moved up out of the Kaaba. That's the house, the black house in Mecca. So they won't worship idols. And, you know, the Arabs were very idolatrous people. They were very into idols and worship and stuff like that. And when you put people in it's just like Trump. Whenever you put symbols and imagery in front of God, that's where the manipulation come at. Because, you know, people looking for God. So a lot of people, believe it or not, they think Trump is a god. They think that gentleman is a god. They think T.D. Jakes is a god. They think Farrakhan, you know, is the all be all. You know, even though Farrakhan say, no, I'm not God. You know, it's Farad Muhammad. But these people, you know, you shouldn't use imagery. You know, and Prophet Muhammad, show me one picture of him. You ain't never seen him. And I think that's where you get the strongest retention in religion. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you don't hear about the Muslims, you know, doing all that stuff. You know, what they call that stuff at the Christian church.
Prosperity gospel.
Tithes
and offerings.
And offerings, right? So, and you know, a lot of people that do that, man, I see those people, man. Those people are sick. You know what I'm saying? They into God. They can break a Bible down, you know, like a shotgun. They cold with it. But at the end of the day, a lot of them, man, they have sick. I heard, I ain't gonna say no names, some preachers say some weirdest stuff. Like, God said, give this to me. You know, give me your last check. I just literally hear him telling people, you know, I was at one church, he was here in Dallas. He said, I'm finna put up 10,000. I need everybody else to put up 10,000. And people just ran and they gave it 10,000.
But that's the problem, because the words say, study to show ourselves approved, workmen that need not be ashamed, but rightly divide the word of truth. And every time I would hear those things, when I would go to certain functions, I would hear in Ezekiel 13 that says, woe goes saying to the prophet that say God said and he ain't said nothing. So I would hear the things that was counteracting what was going on. Quench not thy spirit. So basically I would hear that a lot of times, in one verse it says, for such a false apostles transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So therefore it's no great thing. So it is ministers be transformed also. Okay, so if you can be a fake Christian, then at the end of the day, I'm looking at everything, and if the fruit, I'm a fruit bearer. So if the fruit don't look good, I don't ride with it. That's just how I roll.
So when they asked Jesus, how should we pray? What was the word? What was the Lord's Prayer?
In my mind, he was like, pray to my Father.
No, I know you know. I know he's not a call. He said, our Father, what?
Which art in heaven.
Oh, okay. Not me.
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Right.
Yeah.
on earth used to always tell me that money is the root of all evil.
The love of money.
Yeah, I know it's the love of money.
They ain't
but
specify
what I told my mama, I said, Mama, I tell you what, I'm gonna get all the money I can get, and then when I run out, I'll walk the rest of the way to heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Money gonna be so close.
No, because money is on earth. You know what I mean? A lot of times people look for the pie in the sky, the spook. You know, the spook is not what it is. You know what I mean? We have to learn how to, have prosperity, but it's not for one man.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that everybody think that, giving your money to the tithes and the offerings and stuff like that, in some way, you have some type of reciprocity.
Yeah.
Hey, and I look.
Mike Fresh, welcome to the building.
Bow. What's up, brother, man?
What's up, man? What the hell you doing in here, man?
Man, working, man. You know I'm working.
I heard y'all been go to the studio or something.
Yes, sir. We finna work with a major artist, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I seen that major artist last night. Say, wait a minute, man. Y'all, hey, listen, man. Dallas is something else, man.
Yeah.
Fort Worth is something else, man.
Absolutely.
The DFW, I seen you last night. Just want to let you know that. You was on my show today, you know what I'm saying? I had you popped up. You were with Finesse 2 times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And basically, I seen y'all out there. It was a little hectic from what everybody's saying in the media, saying that it was, I ain't going to jail is what he was chatting on the call. I ain't going.
Yeah.
And I was
Check
like,
in
damn.
jail.
Check in.
Check in to jail.
Yeah, check in to jail. I said, damn, I don't go out much, man. Kudos to you, because I can't handle it no more. You know what I'm saying? I was done. I probably how they say, I put it down to where I go if I'm like Onyx coming to town. They'll be here Monday. They coming on the show. Okay. And I'm going to go out over there with them, or when Webb and them come. I'm be backstage somewhere though. I'm never in the crowd. Sean Paul come, Master P and them, I'm in the back.
Yeah.
I'm not Bun them come, I'm in the back, but I'm in and out like a robbery, just like them, just showing love. But I can't. You guys, I commend y'all. You know what I'm saying? Especially you out there in the mix of them.
But you gotta remember though, I had a store in Big T's.
Of course.
So I raised most of them kids.
Yeah.
So the dude that he was talking to, I knew him personally. You know what I'm saying? So I pulled him to the side, and everything was straight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Bloods and the Crips out there love me. I got my brother D. I got a lot of Blood brothers out there, and they respect me as a neutral person, right? A neutron. So, they and then they respect me as an OG because 99.9% of them read my books when they was in prison. Yeah. The average person gonna tell you, man, I did a bit with Pimpin Ken on my bunk, reading his game. So a lot of them read my book, so I got a snippet of respect, so I was able to quell the situation and let the brother, know that, man, listen, it's gonna be all right. I tried to sell him a DVD afterwards to make it comedy. He tried to say, kid, man, you always try to sell me something. And then he walked off, I knew exactly, because I'm from the streets, I've been out there, You know
how to de-escalate.
Well, I was the Grand Sheik at the penitentiary, so I was over killers as the Moorish American Grand Sheik in the feds. I was over killers and robbers and all the tough niggas, you know what I'm saying? So I deal with niggas like that every day. I know how to deal with killers, I know how to deal with gangsters. All my partners is gangsters, you know what I'm saying? Me, everywhere I go, like people like, I'm not bragging, but when people say they got a lot of hitters and all that stuff, I really have that and I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they'll do anything for me, but what I do is I give them that father figure. So I use that tactic on a little homie. I exercise my OG status, and me and him, we cool. He read my books in the joint. I see him. They come to my store. I was down in Big T's for a long time.
Dang, sure was.
I raised all them little niggas.
Mike Fresh, man, is Mystical coming home, man?
They definitely coming home.
I heard this.
He's on his way.
He on his way.
Man,
Man, I've been checking like, dang, when is he getting out? Because, everybody been talking about it, but he ain't came home yet.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the holdup is?
So they were supposed to be having a court date. They were supposed to be letting him out on his court date. That specific court date, they kept pushing back. They kept pushing it back. But he on his way home.
You know that for a fact?
For a fact, for sure.
Yes.
Wow. This time, I hope this was the last time, boy.
Absolutely.
Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Like, he been through the ringer, man.
Most
The
definitely.
last 2 times was false situation.
The last one.
I thought it was 2. The last one in this
The last one. The first one was what he did time for.
Okay.
The one, they had the video and stuff like that. The second one was the one that was just completely false.
Correct.
He's in jail right now off the third one. So that's the last 2.
That's what I'm saying. The last 2 would be okay.
Absolutely.
Wow, but listen, man. I always ask, man, what is God trying to show me in this situation when you go through something like that?
For sure.
You gotta ask that, because why would I get caught up in situations dealing with this?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Over and over again, God trying to tell you something.
Bro made somebody important mad.
Something happened.
Yeah.
So when he come out, you guys gonna try to do some music together?
Absolutely. I'm gonna make sure I'm right there.
Yeah. I always see y'all together, so that's the
right
dope
there.
part. That's your
I'm
cousin.
gonna be right there.
You know what I'm saying? Every
be
time you
right
come,
there.
I gotta ask you about it, because you're kinfolk.
I'm gonna be right there.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
I'm gonna be right there. Hey, get up off him. Back up off him.
Back up
off him. Bag up off him.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Be his bodyguard.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
Family's supposed to hold down family, man. I know you guys got a lot to do, man. I'm happy that you came through. I know we wasn't gonna be on here long or nothing with you, but at the end of the day, man, the music is still coming through.
Yes, sir.
I know already. I love the Big Extra Plug song. Y'all
Yes,
got
sir. And
together.
you see, it's going crazy. We doing $1 million a month.
That's right.
$1 million a month.
That's right.
You see, I'm on all 3 of Ronnie albums. He done dropped this year.
That's right.
You feel me? Am I
You
looking
killed-
like I'm?
Bob, but you killed it though.
You feel me?
You ain't just
I
own them. You
appreciate
just
that.
ain't own them, nigga.
Yeah.
It's a real problem. You own them.
Yeah, we gonna do it.
Man, I ain't really seen y'all together since the Breakfast Club. When you went up there and said you.
Oh, we be together. We done went to Nebraska. We done went to Atlanta.
No, I'm talking about when y'all was together on here.
Okay, nah, for
No,
sure.
because we did our media run. That's all.
Yeah.
Everybody just ran out.
Can't be moving.
Wow.
And I be moving too. Sometimes we be, we gonna keep it going though. We working. HHL, Hip Hop for
HHL.
Taste.
HHL.
Come on, man.
HHL is the champ.
It don't stop. It don't stop. Hey, look, I told Ken, I'm
What's
rocking
going
with
on?
Ken, man. This HHF, even if you don't see us, that's just because we both
We
busy.
everywhere.
But I'm riding with Ken. Like, that's
You know,
that.
he's the new CEO of Texas.
Texas HHF
Really?
chapter.
Yeah, he's the
Man,
CEO.
that's dope.
Yes, sir.
That's dope. That's
CEO.
dope. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Listen, man. It's big love, man. Coco, man, you done blessed my platform. You don't even know you on Boss Talk 101. It's real serious, to be honest with you. It's real serious.
And I'm serious business.
Hey,
Okay.
man, how come I ain't see you? Ain't been back on Beehive?
Yeah, I was on there about 4 months ago with Papi Chula.
Okay, I ain't seen him back on Beehive. You was running over there a lot there for a minute, like you coming over here.
well, you know-
kind of pulled up on us. You ain't working with us no more.
But y'all got to understand.
Nah, you be coming to see
what
me,
y'all
ain't
got
you?
to understand is I'm a mastermind at media. You got to get away from media. Too much circulation make your stock go down.
Okay.
You know, some people, they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Just soon you're going to fumble. So sometimes I would extrapolate myself out of the media and then I do other stuff because we're not just here to get seen. You know, we actually doing things behind the scene.
Wow.
You know, to make.
That's right.
Make, if not billions, probably, if not millions, for sure billions.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? I do a lot of business too, Brother E. I got a lot of companies and shit, you know, we building our brand. You know, like I said, we just, Mike is a stockholder now. You know, Coco stockholders. You know, we got like real corporations. You know, we got real situations behind the scenes going on.
Wow.
You know, so the reason why I went out there is because we didn't have an artist that can carry the brand. So I had to carry the brand.
Okay.
You know, but I'm not a fond of being in the media. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
You already did it a long time.
Yeah. It's just,
I enjoy you, but I gotta ask you this too. I'm about to end this, but I was thinking about you, and I was like, man, will there ever be a time where you'll do something? Pimp been dead for a while now, Pimp C. I'm a big Pimp C fan. Like, will there be a time when you'll, do something? I seen they just did something for him in Houston where they had some of his clothes and stuff, or some clothes and people trying on. Will you ever do anything in memory or dedication to Pimp C?
Well, because of our closeness and because he was like a little brother to me, and we actually, that's your partner. I used to drive his Bentley. He used to drive my Benzes, and we used to switch cars. We lived in West Timer. He's like a family member, so I don't capitalize on his death like most people do. It's different for me. It's like personal. You know what I'm saying? And, if he wasn't a real friend, me going to see him in prison, seeing him broke, and seeing him come out to some millions, I seen all that. Got him some money. We had one brother give us $350,000 in Nashville. So, we have a different relationship. I'm like what you would call a dude. I'm the type of dude that I'm 100. You know what I'm saying? I move like the rest of these niggas. I don't benefit from shit. I don't hold no position in my organization. I'm not the CEO, the CFO, or none of that shit. I don't care about that shit. I care about results. I ain't into capitalizing on people. But Pimp C is in my heart.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I am doing a movie on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm talking about furthering his name. Because without you talking, his name goes away.
But the movie,
but it'll never go away.
The movie is something that is dear to me. And I want to know who killed Pimp C. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? We've been researching and talking to people, like who killed Malcolm X. We're doing something similar to that. Because I think that the information that's been conveyed from 17 and from, other people that I've talked to and we have interviewed, I think that it should be, told. Because a lot of people don't know the real story of how it would happen. There was some real situations going on with that, right? Mm-hmm. Some real people involved. And, people, that they may allegedly be involved, I heard was allegedly killed. It was like a real movie, then it was connected. It was like a lot of drama, a lot of suspense. There's a lot of stuff that went with that I didn't even realize until years after his death, after we put the investigation into place, right? So, that's the only thing that I think that Pimp C would want me to do is to reveal, these secrets that people been wanting to know. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But like you want me to know, you keep asking about who was in the sex tape.
No, I don't never ask you that. I tell you, don't tell me.
I was okay. Well, everybody always want to know about the sex tape. I don't want to know. But everybody want to know about the sex tape. But do you know one thing about that? Never ever.
I know that.
Exposed.
Me and you talked about it.
You may know. It's people that know that I told on a personal level, but on camera, I never told that because I didn't want to be the person that put that out there, and Pimp never put it out there.
All right, that makes sense. And I just, like I said, Pimp was a different breed when it come down to what he stood for, how he stood up for the South and the stuff that he believed in, and the music was dope. You know what I'm saying? It was fire. So at the end of the day, I think that when you see, even you, being that you was on songs with him, all of those
5 songs.
Okay, plus songs, of course. That right there in itself, in itself is a whole movement and a whole illustration that pushes his memory on. So that's what I'm talking about. We can't let that legacy just lie dormant when but some of the things that happen in the studio, some of the things that happened in detail, the ways that he moved, you gonna know when it may not ever get out. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of sensitivity to that too, because when you talk to the family, and certain people capitalize, whether it's bond or whether somebody did, for certain family members got this to say. I've had people say certain things to me about that certain family members said, and I wasn't even crossing that line. I was just mainly talking to you.
Yeah.
And somebody brought that up, like, man, Ken trying to capitalize. And I had to tell that person, I said, how's I capitalize on Pimp C death when I didn't even know that the conversation was gonna come up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Off the sex tape, but I didn't even know that it was gonna come up. You know what I'm saying? It was.
But you got to realize, you and Bobo were here, and y'all both real close friends with Pimp C. So it ain't not like. Here's my deal. A lot of people be talking crazy. Who capitalized? I don't want to hear none of that. I went out and bought those DVDs, CDs, cassettes. Shit, I went out and bought those. I'm a fan. I can talk about what I want to talk. I'm a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a fan, and I'm gonna be exactly the fan I want to be. Now yours is different. You know what I'm saying?
But this is what I'm saying, right?
Go ahead.
So these niggas tripping, huh? If these niggas tripping about an accidental conversation, you know, and if I was making money and throwing parties and shit, you know, I mean, niggas be coming at me foul. And I'm the type of nigga, man, I don't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be arguing with no nigga about no little money, because that's little money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, but you got to be diplomatic enough and sharp enough to know how not to get. See, life ain't what you get into, is what you don't allow yourself to get into.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so a lot of times you don't see me do things, it's not because I don't want to do it. I would like to throw a party every day for Pimp C if that's what they want. But when you do it, you got people that might not be as sharp. Like Jay-Z can do something or Kanye can do something because they got money that you and I can't do.
Correct.
And it'd be hyperbolic. And it'd be live. But then we'd get mad. We like, man, that nigga exploiting, you know, this situation because they got the paper. And that's how they gonna look at me. They gonna be like, man, Ken, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he know how to market, he know how to promote. You know, he got real life situations. He got real content and videos on Pimp C. He can move better than anybody. You know, because I got hours and hours of footage of this man.
Correct. You and him
that ain't never been out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll put some of it out, but it'd be in relationship to the answer. I want to know who killed Pimp C.
Okay, yeah, and it's the same thing. Like when I went to Marcy Projects and I interviewed D-Haven. D-Haven was Jay-Z's childhood friend.
Yeah, I remember
D-Haven basically, when he came down here to Boss Talk, you know, I went up there. But the thing is, him telling his story, you know, people like, man, you know, you talking about Jay-Z, blah, but that's his story. You know what I'm saying? He was with him. He grew up with him. He took a shot in the side and they was together. How can you not talk about somebody that you, and then the nigga, Jay put his name in the song, D-Haven, Caven, and all this stuff. So, and actually it's crazy because I remember watching a video the other day, and Memphis Bleak was talking about how, I think Jay said that, you know, he always be all right because he got millions, and he was making a reference, and I talked to D-Haven on the phone, and I was like, damn, like he was making a reference, say, man, that really pretty much made him feel like everybody think he got it now because Jay said that. Now let's just reverse it and talk about how D-Haven felt when his name was talked bad upon from Jay-Z. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. It affects both ways.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody out there telling their story.
People telling their story.
They just so happen to not know new Pimp C or not know Jay-Z, but everybody telling their story.
They telling their story, and that's just how they go.
The story get tainted when somebody was really there and really know the story. You know what I'm saying? So when you get a Pimpin' Ken and a Pimp C story, you know, it's talking about we sleeping on his mama couch.
Yeah.
You know, Mama West calling me, we busting moves for $15,000, $25,000. You know, niggas in Mississippi, the goon committee trying to kill my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because they said that he come to the show, I had to stand on them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because Gino, my little brother, that time he had some influence on them niggas. But they was finna literally, you know, put some work in on Pimp. You know what I'm saying? I was right there. I checked them niggas. I said, man, that ain't happening. He'll tell you. Gino, call him. He'll tell you Mississippi, them niggas is killers. You know what I'm saying? But I told him it wasn't gonna happen. He said, Ken, on your word, we gonna stand down. You know what I'm saying? But they was finna kill my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because they thought he had violated because the show was at 9. Pimp didn't come in till like 2.
Wow.
And them niggas was really heated. And I'm talking about they was some straight killers. But, you know, those my little homies, you know what I'm saying? I got so much love with them. So, you know, people don't know this kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? They ain't been there, you know, with me and Pimp, you know, hey man, we up all night. Pimp telling me I'm the new Dr. Dre, I can't even make a beat, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this nigga like, Pimp Kid, Dr. Dre can't make a beat neither. He said, Dr. Dre don't make his own beats. And I'm looking at this nigga, I'm like, nigga, Dr. Dre make his beats, man. He like, man, you know, Kid, Dr. Dre don't make
partner,
the beats.
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we talk about Jay-Z. A lot of people don't know. Too Short, all them niggas could bum me. They know how Pimp really felt about Jay-Z. Pimp did not want to do that.
Big Pimpin'.
Big Pimpin'. You know what I'm saying? They had the record label had to give him a brand new Benz. That convertible Benz he riding there, that Graver, they gave it to him because he didn't want to do it. Because Pimp thought, now this is his own thing. Pimp thought that everybody in New York didn't respect Southern rap. He said, them niggas, we ride Cadillacs and horsebacks. Some niggas be on, they be walking around with Timberlands and book packs. Now, I was there. All this shit was going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he thought that they were stealing, he thought that Jay-Z now was stealing the pimp stuff, the Southern tune with Big Pimpin'. You know, he said they just trying to steal our song. And, you know, Jazzy Faye, all us in the, Jazzy Faye, they backed us up. We all in the damn studio, and Pimp doing this. You know, he doing this. And I told the nigga Maroy, may he rest in peace, I said, Maroy, I said, cut the camera off, man. You know, 'cause Pimp would tell it, he would say it. So it's a lot of stories that people don't know, that people were there, that can verify it. You know, Jazzy Faye was there. You know, Too Short to tell you. When we said that Pimp head was swollen and it looked like somebody had beat him, me and Too Short, we walked past the castle together. We looked at Pimp, we said, it was a private viewing. It was only like 200 people, it was maybe 5,000 people at the funeral. Niggas don't have these stories, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so they be faking, you know what I mean? And they be claiming that they know Pimp. They don't know Pimp, man. They don't, I mean, Too Short. They don't know, man. People don't know Too Short. I know these guys, man. But I'm not gonna speak on them because if I speak on them, they're gonna say I'm trying to clout. You know, I'm trying to clout, or whatever the word these young people call it down there.
Yeah.
So I don't really, you know, get into that shit, man.
Wow.
But I gave y'all these stories just to make it graphic enough for people to say, okay, I never heard that.
Wow. Thank you, man. I appreciate the stories, man. Man, hey, man, listen, man. Thank y'all, HHL, for pulling up the Boss Talk 101. It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101. What a boss.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, big